Okay, so today we're gonna talk about how to start planning your wedding. I know, like, you can Google, and there's a lot of magazines that gonna show you how to do it. But in my expertise, I've been in this wedding industry for almost 20 years. So I've been wanting to create a channel for all the brides and not why not the grooms up there that want to actually plan their own wedding if you don't want to spend money on a wedding planner. So I came up with this idea of creating this channel for you guys to have a little guidance on what you need and be more specific in all the topics. I know sometimes when you do a little bit of research over magazines, over Google tends to be a little bit not that specific. So that's why I wanted to create this channel for you guys. I hope that you enjoy it. So we're gonna start with setting up a budget, which is the most important thing, at least for me, because you don't wanna start planning without knowing how much you and your fiance are comfortable with spending. You don't wanna go into like a lot of debt for something that at the end of the day is not going to be something that you actually wanted. So setting up a budget is one of the most important things that you want to have. Do you want to have a discussion with your partner? If you want to take a loan, it's completely up to you. If you want to do it out of pocket, that's completely up to you. That's why it's always important to set up a time frame. When do you want to get married? Do you want to do it next month? Do you want to plan it for a year? Do you want to do it in the next 6 months? So the longest, obviously, is gonna be the better for you guys. So you're gonna set up a budget and you're gonna like make all your payments regarding that time frame that you're planning on getting married. Also, knowing how many people do you want to invite to your wedding is one of the important decisions that you and your partner need to make, because we know like sometimes we have a lot of like extended family. So obviously you want to invite everyone, but at the same time, a lot of people you can spend a lot of money trying to invite your neighbor, your friend, because you want everyone to see how happy you are. But at the end of the day, it's not about only inviting. You have to think about the food, the music, the entertaining, everything. Even the share they're gonna sit is gonna count. So you have to make a decision if you want 150 persons or a 50 people ceremony that is gonna be a little bit of more intimate, but you're probably gonna enjoy a little bit more with people that actually want to be there, that actually you don't mind spending that money on them. Also, you need to set up a time where you want to do it. You want to do it during the day or at night. So what are the pros and cons of doing a ceremony or a wedding during the day? Obviously, the pros that you will have, it's budget. If you make a wedding during the day, it's gonna be cheaper because there's a different menu. Breakfast menu will always be cheaper than dinner menu. Also, the decoration with a ceremony during the day, you're not gonna be thinking about lightning, about loud music, about like the wow factor on the, for example, like darker colors, darker flowers usually are more expensive. You can obviously have like the same flowers in different colors, but tropical flowers, something that is more is less expensive. Usually that's what we go when we design a wedding in the morning, that in the afternoon, or obviously at dinner. Another thing is like a lot of people don't like to wake up super early, so you don't want to be rude, but if you do a wedding during the morning, you know for sure that only the people that wants to share that time with you and your fiance are gonna be there, because a lot of people don't want to wake up super early, get ready, and all these things. So you can invite a lot of people, but not everyone is going to confirm, unless they're like super close to you, they are willing to make that sacrifice. So I always said, like, if you want something bigger and you don't have a lot of budget, let's try to do brunch, because you're not gonna do a full meal on brunch. You can play with a charcuterie board, you can play with breakfast menu, you can play with fruits. Some people don't even give their guests food like real plates. So what they do is that they do a little bit snacks, a little bit of dessert tables, a little bit of bagels, muffins, and stuff like that. Obviously, as is a little bit of cheaper. And also, when it comes to music, a lot of musicians they have different offers when it's during the day because they're not as booked as is in the evening or in the afternoon. So that's a lot of another thing to consider. It like a lot of venues, if you go to their sites, they're gonna offer you different prices and cheaper prices for doing a brunch or a breakfast, because usually a lot of people don't go through that to those specific dates and time of the day. So also I always said, like, consider doing during the week. For example, obviously you want everyone to make an effort to your wedding, so that's why people will like to be at your wedding or will want to be at your wedding, because doing a wedding during, for example, a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday is cheaper than doing on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday is a little bit cheaper too, but not as cheap if you do it on those 3 days. So that will be something that I will always recommend my brides and grooms to do it during one of the less busiest day on the week. Also, you have to consider the time of the year, if you're gonna do it in winter or in summer. Where do you live? Do you live in a tropical place or do you live in a cold place? So you have to consider all these factors when you're trying to choose for a venue and where you're trying to choose for your wedding date time. Also, find reputation on all the vendors that you're going to book. Don't try to save money because you see like they are the cheapest one. Not always the cheapest one are going to be the best one, but the best one can be the cheaper at those specific times, because when they're not busy, they will give you deals, they will give you discounts. So I always tell my brides and grooms, let's try to find the busiest one. I'm for sure they will work with us with a better price. So do your research, investigate, try to find on Yelp friends, even from wedding planners. Go into their website, look at who they hire. Don't try to make something as special as your wedding to make it cheap just because you don't want to spend a lot of money. Having a nice wedding doesn't mean that you're going to spend thousands of dollars. If you know how to play with time frame, if you know how to play with the venue, if you know how to play with the dates and time that you're planning on doing your wedding. So just sit with your partner, do a time frame, a timeline, do a budget, do a list, a draft, and then just throw ideas over there. What do you want? How do you visualize that wedding? Also, you have to choose a theme. Choose a theme. If you want, let's say you are your fiance, like, I don't know, yellows, or you like vintage, or you like shabby chic. So come up with an idea, talk with that person, and decide what's gonna be. So with that theme, then you can work with the rest. Because if you're like too all over the place, then you're gonna be booking flowers but if you can bundle packages, it's gonna be cheaper. A lot of vendors will bundle with you their services. So let's say, for example, you want photography, but you know that photographer has a 360, that photographer has a photo booth, so you can do a bundle, and you hire, for example, the venue. The venue is another way of saving a lot of money. A lot of venues, they have people with good reputation, and they have their own packages. So ask them for a package, ask them for recommendations, ask them how much it is each vendor. So those, if you're not planning on hiring someone, that will be your best bet. Go to your venue, the one that you already booked, and ask them for ideas and ask them for recommendations on their vendors. Also, just remember that this day it's gonna be so important, and always put yourself first. Always try to remember what makes you happy, not what's gonna make others happy, because you will never please the person that wants to for example, that one salmon, but you don't want to spend that amount of money on salmon, so you want to have a breakfast. So just think that the only person that needs to be there, it's you and your fiance. So just make the best of it. I know producing a wedding is very stressful, especially if you are a mom, if you have a full-time job, or if you have other responsibilities. It's gonna be very overwhelming, and if you don't want to hire a wedding planner, so I'm gonna try to help you as much as I can with all the tips and tricks that I want to give you on each of my videos. And also, don't think about hiring a wedding planner as a waste of money. For me, hiring a wedding planner, even though I'm a wedding planner on my wedding day, was one of the greatest idea that I had, because you are all over the place. And not only that, they have the best vendors for you. And if something happens, you know you don't have to worry about anything. You know, like you have your right hand over there. You know that you will have your best friend over there. Some wedding planners like me, we work pretty much 24/7, and we always have our phone with us for when a bride or groom needs something from us. And if something happens, which I had, that venue is canceled, that music, something that you're not expecting, we always have a backup plan. So you don't have to worry about those little details. Having a wedding planner is not always expensive. You can work with them, you can talk to them, and you're gonna make sure that that day is gonna be all about you and your fiance. So in the next video, I want to explain you between the benefits of hiring a wedding planner. And it's not a luxury, like I said, as you all think that having a wedding planner could be a luxury. It's not. You can save a lot of money by hiring a wedding planner. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys soon with the next tips that I want to show you guys how to make the wedding of your dreams with not millions of dollars. Thank you.